Those assemble. Welcome once again to worldstorytellingcafe.com, and today we have stories for children. Take it away, Mike.
Thank you very much, everybody. This one is in conjunction with Get a Word in Edgeways, and I see Kath's here as well. So Despina, who is from Greece, who's going to do an hour of stories for children, and she's looking beautiful and she's very talented. And I'm just going to leave her to get started. I'm just going to remind you of one thing, Despina. You probably need to do it in English most of the time. Okay.
I'll give it a try. I'll do my best.
Can everybody mute, please? If you're not performing or speaking, can you please all mute? Thank you very much. Ilana, can you mute yours?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to mute mine now. I'm going to hand it over to Bob.
Thanks, Mike. Despina, it is yours. Take it away, lady.
Thank you very much. So I'm very excited to be here, and this is a lovely assembly, really. So I've had this struggle with the stories because all of my kids' stories were jumping at me, going like, tell me, choose me, pick me. And I had to struggle with them really hard, so just to put them in order. And I said, don't worry, you will all get a turn, no worries now. So I just put them in my magic purse. This is my purse of stories. So I'm gonna gently open it so they don't jump out. And I need someone, a volunteer, to put their hand in the camera so that they can pick a story from in here. Can somebody please help? Eliana, can you put your hand in the camera and pick something, please? Okay, let's see what you picked. Aha, it was the yellow story. Let's see. And this is, I don't know if you can read this or if it looks like in a mirror. Can you see the name? All right, perfect. It is the Silver Blustery. It is a story given to me by my beloved David Heathfield, who is also my mentor as a storytelling teacher. I got it from him, and I have Despinized it a little bit, but I think you'll recognize it still. So, note to self. Before beginning the yellow story, first comes a riddle. So, listen carefully. I can get through a doorway without any key and strip the leaves from the great oak tree. I can drive storm clouds like the ones in Washington and shake tall trees, or steal through a garden and not wake the flowers. Seas I can move and ships I can sink. I can carry a rooftop or the scent of a pink. When I'm hungry, I can rave and riot, and when I am spent, I lie quiet as quiet. What am I? If you know it, please speak out. You can use the chat or you can unmute and tell me, what am I? I'm all here.
Despina.
Yes.
Is it the wind?
Kath, you're so right, indeed. This, in fact, it's not a riddle. It is a poem by James Reeves. He's a British writer, and it's called The Wind.
I should have known that. I'm in Washington, D.C., where we have a lot of hot wind. Politicians.
So, the wind was blowing hard that day up on the mountain where the little shepherdess lay waiting for her sheep to get ahead with grazing so they would go back home because she was tired. And the sun had begun to set on the horizon. It was getting late. So, as always, as she did every day, she assembled the sheep and started counting them. But when she did, on that day, she found out that one of her sheep was missing. She counted again. Yes, indeed, one was not there, one was gone. She realized then that it was the smallest one of all, her little lamb. Her little lamb had gone astray. She had to go find it. So she went out and started calling out, Arnaki, Arnaki, puise Arnaki. Okay, you should know that this is Greek, so sometimes we will have some intercultural exchange in the stories. I think you get the picture. She was calling out, lamb, lamb, where are you, lamb? But the lamb was nowhere to be found. So she kept walking and walking among the trees, and there at the side of the path in a bush, she saw this tangled hair wool. So she realized that obviously the lamb must have passed from there. She knew she was on the right path. So she kept on walking and calling out, lamb, lamb, where are you, lamb? But she couldn't find it. She kept walking and finding a little piece of wool here and a little piece of wool there. So she kept walking on that street. Well, soon she realized that not only could she not find the lamb, but the sun had also already set and it was getting dark now and she had stranded off the path. She looked around her and it was getting dark and it was chilly up on the mountain and she was in the deep, dark forest now. And she was starting feeling scared, but as the last sunbeams traveled in the sky, they fell on this glistening silver slender trunk. It was the most wonderful tree she had ever seen. There was this long slender trunk and above it a huge crown of golden leaves. She thought she might feel a bit safer there, so she walked towards the tree and she sat on the ground and laid her back on the trunk, and she was getting worried by the minute, and in order to feel better, she remembered this tune she had heard of, a Canadian song called The Silver Blustery. She could not exactly remember the words, but she could make up her own, so now we must help her. What do you think? We should help the little girl. She's there all alone. We cannot unmute right now because of the sound delay, but I do need you to sing along. Now, this is a simple tune, nothing too important. I'll go slowly at first and listen once and then try to repeat with me. Okay, so it goes like this. Dum dee dee dum 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 dee dee dum 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 dee dee dum dum dum. What do you think? Can we do it together? On three, yeah?
Yes.
Dum dee dee dum 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 dee dee dum 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 dee dee dum dum dum. You can stay muted, my love. No need to unmute. So here's what the girl sang. She went like dum dee dee dum dum dee dee dum dum dee dee dum dum dum. I have lost my little lamb. I am all alone. Found myself in deep dark woods, can't see no way out. Underneath this silver tree, I found rescue for the night. As she sang there, she heard this voice that seemed to come from above. Hey, little girl. Who is it? Who was that? Said the girl. Show yourself, come out. It is I, the Silver Blustery. Oh, hello. Little girl, why are you crying? Well, you see, I lost my lamb, and then I lost the path, and I'm all alone here, and it's getting dark, and my mom will be sick, worried. I don't know what to do. Don't cry, little girl. I heard you singing. Tell me now, do you know how to dance? Well, I think I do, said the shepherdess, and she stood and picked up her little dress in her hands, and she moved 2 steps to the left and back in the middle, and then 2 steps to the right and back in the middle, and then she bowed. Now the silver birch tree could not be happier. Oh, it said, I want to do that too. And it put all its might to lift the roots up from the ground on one side, and then with a huge effort lift its other roots out of the ground until it was like it was standing on 2 feet. And it bent down, and with its branches it took the hands of the little shepherdess, and they started dancing together, singing dum diddy dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum dum dum. And they danced, and they went this way and they went that way, and they spun around, and it was wonderful. The silver birch tree had been wanting to do that all its life. It was like a dream come true. After a little while, after some dancing, the girl got tired, so it said, I'm a bit tired now. Sleep, sleep. I need to sleep. Oh, please, just a little while longer, said the silver birch tree. So the girl kept at it, and they kept swirling and whirling and spinning around. And after a little while, again the girl said, my silver birch tree, I'm kind of tired. Sleep, sleep. I need to sleep. Oh, please, can we keep doing it just a tiny little bit longer, said the silver birch tree. So they kept dancing and swinging and swirling. But after a while, the girl said, I'm very tired now. Sleep, sleep. I need to sleep. And as they were dancing, and the silver birch tree was spinning the girl around and around, it let go. And the girl went up and further up, until it was among the stars. And then she started falling and falling and falling, and the silver birch tree reached out and grabbed her in its arms, in the branches, and started swinging it gently, humming. Dum 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 dum. And soon the girl was fast asleep, so the silver birch tree bent and gently laid her on a mattress of golden leaves that were underneath on the ground, and put some on top of the girl so it wouldn't get cold at night. Well, in the morning, the girl woke up and stretched and rubbed her eyes, and it took her a minute to realize where she was, because she was not in her room. And then it dawned on her, and she looked up and said, "Good morning." And she heard this sound, and the silver birch tree said, "See, see, look and see." And from behind her there came this "Ma!" And she turned around, and there it was. It was her little lamb. She rushed towards it, and she hugged it and kissed it, and she said, "Where were you, lamb? I got so worried. Thank God you're safe. Now we can go back with the others." Not only had she found the lamb, but the lamb was at the beginning of the path. There it was all along. It had been there all this time, only it was dark and she couldn't see. So she went back to the tree and she said, "Thank you." And then she heard this sound again. And the silver birch tree said, "See, see, look and see." And the girl looked, and up in the tree, in its branches, all the wool she had been gathering the previous night, well, it had been tangled in the branches and the boughs of the tree, and as they were dancing and whirling and spinning, it had been spun into the finest yarn. So the girl took the edge and started, "Can you please help a little bit, because it is a long thread, it's going to take a while." She started wrapping and wrapping. "Ileana, Louie, can you wrap with me, please? This way and that." Wrapping the yarn until she had this huge fluffy ball of yarn. She could touch it and it was so soft, and she could smell it. It smelled like milk, because it was a milky lamb, that one it had come from. And she said, "Oh, this is lovely. I will give this to my mom, and surely she can make me a fine piece of clothing for the winter. It gets chilly up on the mountain." And she turned to the silver birch tree and said, "Thank you." And the silver birch tree bent and picked with its branches a handful of golden leaves and placed them on the girl's lap. So the girl also put the ball of yarn in there. She lifted up her little apron and took the lamb, went back to her flock, which was there all night waiting for her. And she said, "My darling ships and God, you're all right. Let us just return home now. I'm kind of tired and my mom will be worried. Let us return." So they took the path down the mountain, and while she was walking, this tune came to her mind, and she was walking towards her home, singing dum diddy dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum dum dum. "I have found my little lamb and this lovely yarn. I will take it to my mom, surely she'll be happy. After dancing with the tree, I got all these lovely leaves. Dum diddy dum dum, dum diddy dum dum, dum diddy dum dum dum." And as she was singing, out of nowhere she heard this sound again. And in her mind this time she heard the silver birch tree. It was as if she was seeing it with her own eyes right then. She heard the tree say, "See, see, look and see." And as she heard these words, she realized that, well, her apron was getting heavier every time she took a step. So at first she thought it was her being tired, and she paid no attention to it, but it was getting heavier by the minute. And just before she got home, she looked, and in her lap, instead of golden leaves, her apron was full of golden coins. And with that, she went back to her mom and she told her all about the previous night. And they hugged and they kissed, because mom had been so worried, obviously. And she gave her the ball of yarn and she gave her the coins. But of course, for her mom, the best gift of all was the fact that her girl was back home safe. And they lived happily ever after. Now, this...
That's a wonderful story. Thank you very, very
It
much.
is, isn't it? And we drink home because I think you tell a story. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lots of people, different people get different messages from stories. So I don't want to explain it too much, but what I get from the story is that if you're kind to nature, you will go away bearing gifts. Not necessarily coins, but gifts you will get.
Despina, if you wish to do parts of the story in Italian, in Greek, my bad, because you're multilingual. If you wish to do parts of the story in another tongue, and then give us the English equivalent, feel free to do so, because we want you to have fun. If you're having fun, we're going to enjoy it even much more.
I'm having loads of fun. I'm going to be putting a little bit of Greek here and a little bit of Greek there. I'll be mixing the ingredients.
Okay, so forgive me for my next pun, because it's going to be so bad. It's all Greek to me.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm going to
Let me
mute
tell
now.
you that by the end of today, you will be able to show off to your friends, because you will know some Greek at least. So, this poem called The Voice by Shel Silverstein, an American writer, this time, is what I got from this story. And it is addressed to children. It is addressed to Iliana and Petros, or Manos, or both, and Louis, obviously. Okay, guys, this is for you. There is a voice inside of you that whispers all day long. I feel that this is right for me. I know that this is wrong. no teacher, preacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide what's right for you. Just listen to the voice that speaks inside. So, part of story still full. Who's gonna pick one? Okay, I can see you, Babasi. You're picking one. All right, let's lift. Oh, you get the red story, Babasi. Let's see. So, this is called The First Witches. Now, and look, what a coincidence that you got to draw this, because this takes us back so long ago. Only you would know, Babasi. Let's take things from the beginning. Let's take things from the beginning of time. Because back then, not all the animals had been created yet, but there were witches. I don't know what you have in mind when you hear the word witch. You might think of these not very good-looking ladies, maybe with a wart or maybe with a pointy hat. No. Forget. Put Disney out of your brains right now. We're talking about pure, creative powers of nature, those witches. And they were beautiful. So, on that day, at the beginning of time, our witch, well, she had been creating big animals at first. I will need you to join in now. Louis, if you please. Kath, big animals. What kind of animals had our witch made already? Big ones, beasts. Any ideas?
Bears?
Bears, absolutely. Yeah. So huge bears with claws, yes. What else? Eliana, any
Hippopotamus.
ideas?
Elephant?
Hippopotamus, yeah, they're grazing in the sun and lying in the river and being very happy in the water. What else? Big animals, big ones. You don't have to raise your hand, my love. Just unmute and tell me.
Louisaurus.
Wolf?
Bull. Elephants, of course, are absolutely huge trunk and floppy ears, stomping on the savannah. Okay, so she had made all these big beasts, and she was getting tired
Also
now.
dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, absolutely. She had made T-Rex already. So she was done with the big beasts, and she was getting kind of tired by now. She thought she'd make something smaller, because you see, at first, before the animals had got their original form, they all came in the form of small, fluffy balls. And these fluffy balls, they were getting to be molded and shaped. And each fluffy ball got to have 3 wishes. Those 3 wishes would define what kind of animal it would later become. So, she was done with the last animal she had made, and she was kind of tired now. It was towards the end of the day, and she said something in witch language, which I'm gonna try to share right now. Okay, as Babasi told you, I'm multilingual, so I do a little bit of witch language as well. So she was like, I'm tired, I'll make 2 more, and then I'll go to bed and make it tomorrow. Did anybody get that? Does anyone speak witch here? No? Okay, let me repeat. I'm very tired. I'll make 2 more and then the rest tomorrow. Anybody got that now?
I think she's very tired, Despina.
Right, yes, and?
She's- Go ahead.
Which language sounds like a very slurry version of English?
It does. Also, it sounds like yawning a lot. Yeah, but it is witch language anyway.
Yawning
So-
is contagious.
Well,
Let-
she's yawning because the witch is tired.
Tired, obviously, and this is how she spoke her witch language at that point. So what she did say, as Kath said, she was really tired. She was going to make 2 more, then the rest tomorrow. So there she lay. I should tell you now that I heard this lovely story by the wonderful Ursula Holden Gill, which I tend to rename into Golden Hill. Pardon, Ursula, if you hear this. Anyway, so she was done with the last animal and she was getting tired, so she called out, "Next!" and waited. Nobody came, so she would like it again. "Next!" No one appeared. "Next!" And this time, in from the door, there came this little fluffy ball, a very timid one. Come here, Fluffy Ball," the witch said. "Don't worry. Come here, I will help you become the animal you are meant to be." "Oh, okay," said the Fluffy Ball. So the witch said, listen to me. Here's how it goes. You get to ask for 3 things, anything you like, 3 traits. And these traits will make you be the animal you're later to become. Is that okay?" "I think so," said the little Fluffy Ball. "Okay, so what do you want first? What is your first wish, little Fluffy Ball?" I'm very small and very timid, and I think I need good ears." "Good ears?" said the witch. Yes, I need good ears, not very big ones. I need good ears so that if danger approaches, I will listen to it in time, and I will run to safety." "That is a very sensible wish," said the witch. "Okay, here we go. Now, I'm gonna need a little help here because we're going to use our witch hands. Can I please see some witch hands? Ileana, Louis, witch hands, please. And here we are supposed to do this. Rub, rub, rub. And tingle, tingle, tingle. And mold. Okay, so she was molding and shaping little ears in the animal and shaping them when in from the door came another Fluffy Ball. "Well, what are you doing still? It's getting late. I'm tired of waiting." "Excuse you," said the witch. "Well, look, why are you wasting all your time with this Fluffy Ball? It doesn't even know what it wants. Not me. No, I know what I want." "Well, listen, you're gonna love this. I want to have this very long neck, like a giraffe, or maybe a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It had already been created, as Manus Petros told us. I want this long neck, very long, so that I can look down on everybody." "Excuse you," said the witch. "Hasn't anybody told you that you're supposed to keep the line? If you're waiting in queue, it's very rude to break it. Please go out and wait." "Well, all right, I'll go and wait, but this shouldn't take forever." And off the door it went. But while the witch was speaking to it, she realized that, well, she had been shaping the ears, remember? So she had made them a little bit too long, so they were flopping on top of the animal's head, and well, she couldn't do anything now. It was too late. So, "Okay," she said to the first Fluffy Ball, the timid one. "You've got good ears. What is your second wish?" Well, I have good ears now, although they are a bit big, but okay, I can hear danger if it approaches me, but how will I be able to run? I think I need good legs. Yes, I need good legs so I can run really fast. Can I have good legs, please? Yes, of absolutely. That makes perfect sense, in fact. Absolutely, yes. So we're going to need witchy hands. Can you please help? Okay, here we go. Rub, rub, rub. Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. And mold. So she was molding and shaping the legs of the animal. Well, yeah, you guessed it. In from the door came the cheeky fluffy ball. Are you still wasting your time with that one? Oh, look at its ears. It looks like a donkey. Please go out, said the witch. It is not your turn yet. Okay, listen to this. I thought of my second wish. Now, I want to be all the colors of the rainbow. I want to be crimson and blue and green and yellow and okay, you can put a little gray and a little brown if you want to, if you have to, but not too much. I want to be admired by everybody. Everybody must look at me and say, wow, what wonderful colors are these? Wait outside, said the witch. It is not your turn yet. Off you go. I'm going. I don't understand why I even have to wait. I'm going, but get over with it, it said, and off it went. But of course, you do remember, don't you? While she was speaking to this cheeky fluffy ball, she was at the same time molding the legs, and she had got to the feet of the animal, the first fluffy ball, and well, she had, let's just say, pulled them a bit too much, so they were kind of long feet now. So the animal had its floppy ears on top and its long feet underneath, and well, it was done anyway. Okay, fluffy ball, said the witch. So what is your third wish? Well, I have good ears, and with this feet you gave me, I cannot run very fast, but look, I can hop away if I hear danger approaching. And for my third wish, I would like, yes, what is your third wish, little fluffy ball? I would like killer fangs. Killer fangs? Said the witch. Fluffy ball, are you sure this trait is right for you? Are you sure it goes well, it fits your personality? You said I could have anything I wanted. Yes, don't cry, it's okay. Killer fangs, okay, I will give you killer fangs. So, witchy hands, please. Rub, rub, rub. Tinkle, 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 and mold. So she took hold of the animal's teeth and she molded them, and she had made these fine squares, and she was just grabbing her sharpening tool to turn them into killer fangs. When? Yeah, of course, you guessed it. In came the cheeky fluffy ball. Are you still wasting your time with this one? Oh, look at its feet. I can't believe it. All right, never mind. Okay, listen to this now. I thought of my third wish. Here's what I want. I want to have a beautiful voice so that everybody can hear it and admire it as if I were singing in the opera house. I want to be heard all over the place, and that's enough, said the witch. And out she took her witchy hands and grabbed the cheeky fluffy ball, because kind as she was, well, you don't want to make a witch angry, not even the good ones. Don't do that. Come here, you, she said. So you wanted this long neck, did you say? Well, in fact, you will have no neck. Your head will be one with your shoulders. And the cheeky fluffy ball became like this immediately. And you said you wanted all the colors of the rainbow, did you now? Well, I think that I will give you this brownish gray so that no one can tell where you are. They will not be able to spot you. You'll be lost in the environment of branches and trees. Oh, said the cheeky fluffy ball. Not so cheeky now. And you wanted a beautiful voice, did you? Well, this sound you just made will be the only voice you'll have from now on. And her job was done. The cheeky, fluffy ball turned this way and that end. It was brownish gray, and it did find that when it would spread its wings, well, at least it was given huge wings, and with them off it flew, leaving a sound behind it. And the witch was done with it, and she turned to the first fluffy ball, but she could not sharpen the teeth into killer fangs any longer. It was too late now. And she looked at the little animal she had created with the floppy ears and the big feet and the long teeth in front. And she said, "You're so cute." She couldn't help but giggle. And the little animal was terribly offended, and it went and hopped away. And you know that the owls and the rabbits, or hares if you like, are not exactly friends, but they are very closely connected to witches, both of them. And finally the witch said, "It's all right for today. Good night." And she went to sleep, only to make more animals the next day. And this is the story of how the owl and the rabbit were created. Thank you. Oh, that's another one. That's a cousin of mine.
I would say that was a hopping good story.
Perfect. And I have made a little note to self here. Okay, I should now give you the nose poem, which is written by Jack Prelutsky, another American writer. But now everybody will have to unmute.
Can I say my opinion on that story?
Absolutely, go straight ahead.
It was
Yes.
really funny. The thing with the cheeky fluff ball bouncing in so many times,
Yeah.
and the witch just telling him, "Stop, there's a queue." That really got me.
Yeah, because I'm sure you know people who are like that, don't you? Don't we all? Yeah. Okay.
As a teacher, I know students who are like that.
Well, yeah, and as adults, we know adults who are like that. Don't be like
Yes.
that.
No.
Okay, so please unmute for a minute because I'm going to need your contribution in this one. This is a very wonderful, lovely poem called "Be Glad Your Nose is on Your Face." Would you care to unmute for a minute, please?
Everybody unmute.
Kath?
Sorry, I thought I had.
Are you ready? Donald, aren't you going to participate? Everybody's muted.
It's been muted again by.
Oh.
I
Maybe.
read I'm reverse reading today. I was trying to unmute everybody, and I'm afraid I muted. So everybody, please unmute yourself right now. Don't put me back in control of the controller. I'm having backwards day today.
It's the opposite day.
Opposite day, yes. Thank you.
You got it.
Well,
So
actually,
today.
wait, no, I'm not even going to start on my sentences about opposite day because that's going to go for too long.
I think Petro is a storyteller in the making. All right, so everybody's unmuted.
Except the person with the doggy. All right, here we go. So remember, I'm gonna ask you to contribute. All right. So First verse is clear. Listen to this. Be glad your nose is on your face, not pasted on some other place. For if it were where it is not, you might dislike your nose a lot. Imagine if your precious nose were sandwiched in between your...
Toes.
Feet, toes.
That really would not be a treat, for you'd be forced to smell your...
Feet.
Neat.
Your nose would be a source of dread where it attached atop your...
Head.
It soon would drive you to despair, forever tickled by your...
Yeah.
Within your...
Ears.
Ear.
Yes.
Your nose could be an absolute catastrophe. For when you were obliged to...
Sneeze.
Sneeze.
Your brain would rattle from the breeze. Your nose instead, through thick and thin, remains between your
Eyes.
and
Chin.
Chin.
not pasted on some other place. Be glad your nose is on your...
Face.
Lovely, thank you.
Despina, you are so creative and wonderful. Oh, I'm like a kid
I agree.
again.
That is true.
I hear something tinkling in here. I think there's one last story in the purse. Shall I bring it out? What do you think? Yeah? You sure? Okay, out it comes. You asked for it. It's not on me. All right, it is a blue story then. And this one, as if I saved it for last, it is a Greek folk tale called Miss Tuleto.
Ooh.
Now, this is not one of the very well-known ones, nor one of the most popular ones, but it is one of my personal favorites, so I get to choose. Here we go. Long time ago, there lived a beautiful girl, and her name was Marigold. She was as beautiful as her name would have it. She had this long, curly bush of reddish blonde hair, as her name would suggest. But Marigold was really poor. To make a living, she would have to go to the forest, walk all the way to the inside part, and pick up sticks and bring them to the market to sell, and this is how she would make her living. One day, she was at the market selling her stick, when she heard these town criers. They appeared there, holding her on bells and calling people. Now, I don't know, in Greek, town criers would go like, "Akousate, akousate." What do they say where you come from? Care to join?
Hear ye, hear ye.
Aha, hear ye, hear ye. Anybody else? Who else?
Gather round, gather round.
Give me your ears.
Aha, perfect. And this is exactly what the town crier said that day in the central square where Marigold was at the side at the market selling her sticks. And the town crier took this big piece of paper and started reading for the crowd assembled. All maidens in the kingdom are to gather tomorrow at dawn in front of the palace's court for a spinning competition. By decree of the queen, the one to best spin, the prince's hand in marriage will win. Now, all the girls were so excited when they heard this. They rushed back home to find their spinning gear and their best clothes, of course, because they would have to look beautiful for the prince. Now, back at the palace, the prince was complaining to his mother, the queen. "But Mom, why does my future wife get to be a spinner?" "Listen to me, young man," said the queen. "When your father and I got married, I was the best spinner in the kingdom. Surely your wife must match my skills." "But Mom, what if I don't like her? Hush now, you. Surely we will find some good spinner you will like, said the queen. So it was decided. Back at the market, where all the girls were getting ready and super excited, one girl wasn't. I'm sure you guessed. Poor Marigold picked up the sticks she had not sold for the day and walked back into the forest. It was her favorite place in the world. And there she reached the clearing where she would often sit and started crying and blaming her luck for being so poor. When from behind her she heard this. Okay, this is a Greek tale, so you should know that Greek cockerels go like kikiriku. What do other cockerels say? I know they speak different languages around the globe, but what do your cockerels say? They can't speak kikiriku, that's Greek. Kakarukuku. Okay, that's a bit more complex. Anybody else? No? Okay. Time to get up! Ah, there you go. That was interesting. She heard this sound came from behind her and she turned to see and she saw the weirdest looking cockerel she had ever seen. Because this particular cockerel was all slick black. Okay, let us make a cockerel for him a minute. Can I see some cockerels, please? This one. Nice one. Anybody else? No, you almost got it there. I think it's a duck, Donald, but keep trying. Yeah, and that is a peacock from WSTC, from the cafe, but thank you for the effort. Okay, so this cockerel, totally slick black, with a sharp beak and huge talons on its feet, with black coal eyes like burning fire, looked at the girl and said, Marigold, Marigold, why are you crying? What can I say now, cockerel? You know, I'm so unlucky. I'm so poor and there's this competition tomorrow and Marigold, Marigold, said the cockerel. I can see you really fancy the prince, don't you? Well, what girl wouldn't? But what can I do? I cannot spin. I cannot even take part in the competition. I don't stand a chance, said Marigold, and she kept weeping. Marigold, Marigold, what if I told you that I could not only make sure you take part in the competition, but I can guarantee you win the hand of the prince? What would you say? Oh, can you do that? Said Marigold. I can, because you see I have this magic hand spindle. But here's my terms. I will give it to you. And if all goes well, I will visit you. I will come back in a year. And then you will have to greet me by name. If you don't, I will take your hat. Is that the deal? Yes, absolutely. No problem at all. Of course I will. Please, give him the hand spindle. Here you go, said the cockerel, and the girl was ready to walk away when he said, wait a minute. You haven't even asked me my name. Oh, yes, said Marigold. What is your name? I have a fine name indeed. I'm sure you will find it to your liking. It's Mastro Pesto Miss Tuleto. Come on, say it with me. I know you've got it. It's Miss Tuleto. Can I hear everybody? Fine name.
Miss Stiletto.
Stiletto. Stiletto.
And his name?
Stiletto.
In 1 year from now, Marigold, said the cockerel. And the girl was off. Next day, early at dawn, she was the first one outside the palace court, the first one to sit there with her distaff and her hand spindle. And soon there were rows of girls waiting to take part in the competition, all of them ready to spin as fast and as best as they could. So the queen came out, the prince at her side, their courtiers around. The servants handed the girls balls of wool, and the girls put the wool on the distaff and they started pulling out the threads. And by countdown, when the queen gave the signal, they all started spinning at the same time. And Marigold's hands, the hands that had never spun before, it was as if they knew exactly what to do on their own accord. So she took the threads out of the wool and she placed them in the hand spindle, which is like this wooden stick with a flat wooden stick on top, and it started spinning and spinning, spinning and spinning. You couldn't imagine, as fast as if it was an automaton by itself. She didn't do anything. It was all done. And soon, out of the hand spindle there came the prettiest, brightest white thread anyone had ever seen. In fact, the sun rose in the sky at that moment, and the sunbeams glistened on the bright white, and that caught the eye of the queen. And as she was inspecting the girls around, she found herself in front of Marigold. She had this fine white thread, and the queen grabbed it and tried to snap it, only it wouldn't snap. It was as if it was silk, as a spider's web. And she said, "Ha, girl, now, where did you learn to spin like that? I could say that this is even better than mine." "Hold the competition," she said to the others. "I think we have a winner. And look at her, my son. What do you think? She is pretty, isn't she?" And of course, the prince liked her very much, so they were soon engaged, and they got married, and it was the loveliest time ever in Marigold's life. One night, as she lay in her bed, she heard this sound at the window. She opened the window, and who do you think it was? Anybody remembers? Oh, come on, you didn't also forget, did you now? Incredible. There was a black... Yes, yes?
Miss Tuleto.
Mr. Mulu.
Oh, there you go. Someone remembers, luckily, in this fairy tale. So there he was, Mr. Tuleto, the black cockerel, at the window, looking at Marigold, saying, "Marigold, Marigold, Princess Marigold, I came to remember you, the terms of our deal." Yes, how are you, dear cockerel? You do remember that my name is Miss Tuleto, don't you? Of course I do. Of course I did, like Babasi did. Of course I did. How could I ever forget the name of my benefactor? I will never forget it. Marigold. In a few months' time, it will be a year. Be ready to meet me again, and this time greet me by name. And with that, and or kukurukuru, that one, the American one, he was off into the night. Oh, there you go. Now, Marigold did consider this to be a bit weird, but okay, she was a princess now. She had all this splendor around her, beautiful dresses, a prince to love her, and she found out that she was with baby. She couldn't be happier. So some time passed, and they had this beautiful baby who she loved with all her heart. And after a little while, well, the queen suddenly died, and her husband, the prince, became the king after her, with Marigold as a queen at his side. It couldn't get any better now, could it? Only one night, as the girl was lying on her bed, she heard on the window, and she opened up the window, and there he was, the black cockerel. "Marigold, Marigold, Queen Marigold," said he. "I am here to remind you that tomorrow at dawn, it is a time for you to honor our deal. Do you remember my name, Marigold?" Yes, of course I do. It is Mustiletto, isn't it? Mustiletto. Marigold, you must be joking. Do you think my name is Geppetto? Could it be Tuleto, or perhaps Babasi, or Donald, or Mike, or Petrus Manos, or David? Do you think my name is Zepperuletto? Marigold, if by dawn tomorrow you have not recalled my name, remember, I will have your heart. Look, dear Cockerel, I didn't mean to forget it. You see, it's just that, yeah, I have all these responsibilities now, being a queen and all, you know, and I am very rich now. What do you say? I give you some money. Yeah, I will pay you lots of money. Oh, better still, I will make this chicken coop for you, and there will be no metal parts. It will just be diamonds. What do you think? I'm not interested in your Marigold. Marigold, Queen Marigold. Me and my 12 sons, my little cockerels, can only be fed with the hearts of ungrateful girls. If you do not remember my name by tomorrow, I will have your heart, as arranged. And with blood chilling, he disappeared into the night. He was no longer the sweet black cockerel that had helped her. Try as she might, she did try, she did her best. She couldn't remember. He had given her so many choices. She would go crazy. It was impossible for her to remember. She lay the rest of the night sleepless. And in the morning, well, her husband, the king, she saw her at this state, and he did ask what was wrong with her, but could she tell? If she uttered the word, she would have to go all the way back, explaining how she had won his heart with trickery. She held silent and said that, but she had just woken up ill-spirited, and that he shouldn't pay attention to it. And well, he said that he had arranged to go on a hunting trip and he could not take it back now, but he did, and he returned early because of the state of his wife. So there she lay, all worried sick, not knowing what to do to escape the ill fate that was awaiting for her, when he came back saying, Marigold, let me tell you this story. You will not believe it. I'm sure it will put a smile on your face. Oh, husband, please, I don't feel like stories now. She didn't know that stories always help. Just let me be, she said. Please, listen to me, he said. Listen to this thing that happened today at the forest. You see, we were out hunting and we had unleashed the dogs and they were producing game, and in front of me I saw this great big fox and I started chasing it, mounting on my horse, galloping after it, and it disappeared into the deepest dark part of the forest, and there I found myself in a place I had never been before, and I found myself in a clearing. The fox was nowhere to be seen, but what I did see there, I saw the weirdest thing. There was this black cockerel, huge one, sharpening his beak on a piece of wood. And alongside him, on one side and the others, there must have been a dozen little cockerels, all sharpening their beaks. And they were all singing. Listen to the song, Marigold, listen to this. They said, Mastro Pesto, Miss Tuleto, Miss Tuleto, Miss Tuleto. And the big cockerel said, if the lassie wasn't Scotty, if my name wasn't so, we would soon grow very hungry, as I'd have to let her go. Miss Tuleto, Miss Tuleto, Miss Tuleto, Miss Tuleto, Miss Tuleto, Miss Tuleto. Wasn't that funny? Oh, husband, she ran and hugged him. You don't know how happy you make me. See, I told you it would put a smile on your face, he said, leaving her unawares. Now the girl said, let me put it down so I don't forget again. She could not rely on her memory, obviously. So she did write it down, and then she was off to the woods. she found herself at the clearing. She had encountered the cockerel for the very first time, and there he was with his 12 sons waiting for her, big sharpened talons ready. Marigold, Marigold, Queen Marigold, said Miss Tuleto. Did you remember my name? Let me tell you now. Listen, Marigold, if you want to save your heart, let me make you an offer. What do you say? I do not take your heart, but I take the heart of the king, your husband. What do you say? What? No, don't even think about it. No, wait a minute. Are you perhaps the good spirit of benevolence? Marigold. No, that is not my name. You have 2 more chances. I'll be generous. I feel generous today. So, okay. You don't want your husband dead. What if instead I let you and your husband live happily and I take the heart of your baby? Surely you can make other babies. What do you say? No, for God's sake. Kids, you should put your hands on your heart right now. Make sure it's safe and in its right place because it is in danger. No, of course not. How dare you think of something like that? Wait, she said. Is your name the good bird of the forest? Marigold. No, this is not my name. Get over with it, Marigold. Stop playing around. You have one last chance. And Marigold then said, okay then, is your name Miss Tuleto, and are you the evil spirit of the forest? Said the cockerel. I can't believe you remembered. And with a spine-chilling, it disappeared into the woods, never to show itself again in those parts of the woods. And okay, this is all great and well, and Marigold and her husband and the baby lived happily ever after. Wow, we're all so happy. But this is a very controversial tale. Let's do a bit of thinking, yeah? Why does Mr. Tuleto, bad guy here? What did he do? He made a pact, he made a deal, and he honored his part. Not only that, but he her. And then you have the ungrateful, forgetful princess who is the good guy all of a sudden. Let me tell you one poem that is very tightly connected with this one. And please unmute because I will need your contribution right now. This is called the zebra question.
The zebra question?
Yes, do you know it?
No.
Perfect, you will in a little while. So here's how it goes. I asked the zebra, are you black with white stripes or white with black stripes? And the zebra asked me, so I will start with Babasi first. You go first. Are you good with bad habits or are you
Bad with good habits.
Donald? Are you noisy with quiet times or are you
Quiet with noisy times.
Rona? Are you happy with some sad days or are you
Sad with some happy days.
Mike? Are you neat with some sloppy ways or are you
I'm assuming that this is definitely for me. Sloppy with some
Yes.
tidy ways.
Thank you. And on and on and on and on and on and on he went. I'll never ask a zebra about stripes again.
Despina, thank you for
Thank
your
you, you've been
antenated
lovely.
Thank you for your animated, delicious stories and tales and poetries and riddles. This has been a most fantastic Friday. Let me take care of a little business, and if you want to do one more thing, we're fine with that. But let me take care of a little bit of business first, okay?
Yeah, well, I'm done. Do what you
You're done?
please.
Well, everyone,
Yeah.
give Despina a round of applause.
Thank you.
I
I
think
should tell
she's-
you at this point that I don't know if it's Babasi's job, and if I'm still in it. If I am, I'm sorry. There is a virtual donation hat, if you like, which will give the money will be given to Henna Cafe so that people in need can have something to eat. So it is totally up to you.
Whenever you tune in to worldstorytellingcafe.com, there's usually a hat next to the artist name, or next to the session that we're doing. And any donations you make will either go to the artist or go toward a specific cause. In this case, it will go toward our cause in the Red City, as they call themselves, Marrakesh in Morocco, in Africa. I hope that everyone has enjoyed today. Real quick before I forget, because I'm old and sometimes I forget, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. We do not have a session this Sunday, I don't believe, but Tuesday we have the young storytellers, and anyone 25 years or younger is more than welcome to join us at 5 o'clock British time. Hey, I'm American, I call it British time. 5 o'clock British time, and come in and share your stories in native tongue, or share your stories. It's family friendly. Share your stories. But then next Friday, I'm told we have a super treat. Now, I hear that he's a global teller, that he's an international griot. I've never seen him perform, but I hear that he is magnificent and not to be missed. So next week, stories for children.
Is his name Babasi by any chance?
Yes, I know him.
I've heard him. Don't bother.
Hey, Rona, Peter and Lord of Fire might take you serious, but no, it's going to be a fun time. I guarantee.
I'll be there.
In fact, everybody will have a good time, but if you're not careful, you might learn something new. So I invite everybody to join us this Tuesday at 5 o'clock British time, and next Friday at 6 o'clock British time, and Baba C will apply
Which
his
for
versions
me,
of
in Greece,
yes,
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock on the PM.
8 p.m. 8 p.m.
Hey, Petros, pronounce your name for us, your whole name for us.
Well, my full name.
Yes.
Well.
Or just the first and last.
Okay, Petros Ioannis Manos.
Oh, it's a short name. Okay. See, my secret identity is Lord Lorenzo Augustus. I haven't said it in so long. It's Lord Lorenzo Augustus. Oh my goodness. I haven't said it in a while. I forgot my whole name. It's long. Oh, wow. I'll have to remember for next week.
Baba.
Yes.
I read a name that's like 20 words in a book, and it was hilarious.
Your story, Despina, reminds me of Rumpelstiltskin.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Yes.
you can see motifs.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, I gotta see.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Now I'm
There you
curious to
go.
see if we have an African American equivalent, and I will be looking for that. But I want to thank Lord of Fire and Petros for tuning in, especially. Louis has gone to swim, so if you're ever telling stories and notice Louis kind of drops off the map, that's because he has swim on Fridays.
Okay.
Rona, Mike, Kath, Kamal, World Storytelling Cafe, Ali, Christina, the name I can't pronounce because it's in another alphabet, and Golden G. Thank you for all tuning in today. Don't be a
Before
stranger.
everybody goes, let me interrupt for a minute before everybody
Go ahead.
goes. I've met this guy, not met him, virtually. He's a mime and he's wonderful. He's called Leyland. He's American. And he did show us this thing I want to show you that goes like this. Any idea what it means?
I see all of you with
When I
love.
see you in my heart, the sun rises.
All right.
There you go.
Ooh,
nice.
see?
With
We
that,
learn
have a
something new every time.
very, very
Okay,
pleasant.
so from Greece to wherever Mike is at the moment, to the United Kingdom, to wherever Lord of Fire is, and Golden G, and the name I can't read because it's in another alphabet. Everybody give Ali a round of applause for flying the magic carpet.
Hey, Baba, can I say a couple of words before we say goodnight?
Yes, but let me just say one thing, and I'll be
Okay.
very quick.
Okay.
What I especially like about Ali is that he brings together from the four corners of a very round globe all of us. All right, Mike, it's you.
Thank you.
Baba. So
Thank you. I'd just like to say amazing personal thanks to Despina for an amazing, creative and engaging performance. And in that context, I'd like to mention Crest. Crest is a very good friend of ours. The mentor there is David Heathfield, who was on the in the meeting earlier. Crest stands for Creative and Engaging Storytelling for Teachers, and David is about to start a new round of classes. So I'm speaking now to our audience on Facebook and YouTube and catch up. There is an opportunity to start to learn from Despina's mentor, and that's starting really soon. And if you go to his website, Crest, you'll see what the cost is, which is for people who are living in Europe and the States, probably going to look quite affordable. If it doesn't look so affordable to you where you live, still approach him. There are funded courses, and in that connection, if you would like to support a student, there is a Just Giving page for Crest. So please do consider supporting that initiative. Let me also mention our friends at Get a Word in Edgeways, who have their festival in Much Wenlock on the 8th of July. I can't possibly leave without mentioning that. And finally, in Marrakesh, in the cafe, we have storytelling every day. And we also have wonderful food, vegan food every day. And in that connection, I'd just like to mention that we are now listed on TripAdvisor. Everybody who's been kind enough to rate us has given us 5 stars, which is wonderful. And I think that may be something to do with the fact that there is actually 5-star wonderful vegan food in the cafe. So please, for those of you who have been, if you'd be kind enough to contribute your opinions on TripAdvisor, that would be wonderful. And yeah, enough from me. We look forward to seeing you here and eventually in Marrakesh. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll try that food, won't we, Kath?
Oh, the food is good. Trust me. I was concerned.
You.
Whenever I travel, I'm concerned about food, but I'm no longer concerned about the food at the World Storytelling Cafe. It is to live for.
There is definitely.
Thank you, Kamal.
There's definitely a complementarity between storytelling and food.
All right, so I never say goodbye. I always say to be continued. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all those assemble. See you next time.
Come on, Baba. See, Efcharisto.
Say it again.
Efcharisto.
What she said.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ. Καληνύχτα.
I'm going to learn Greek. All right, everyone take care. Have a fantastic Friday and a wonderful weekend. Until next time. Peter and Lord of Fire, please come back. You'll have a great time. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everyone. And on that note, Ali, take us out of here. Everyone have a great.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Babasi.
My pleasure. This afternoon here, I'm going to lunch, a late lunch.
Bye, and thank you.
Kamal, I'm glad you had some trouble signing in and out, but I'm glad you were persistent, and I look for seeing you next time. And once again, Ali, thank you. Asante sana, asante sana, asante sana.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, Ali, I dreamed I was in Marrakesh last night.
Oh.
Yeah, I dreamed I was in Marrakesh, and that I was riding tuk-tuks, and having just a great time. So
Yeah, great. We have some guests from Washington D.C.
you do?
And, yeah, and we have some from New York also.
Well, tell your guests from Washington D.C. They may not know me, but tell them Baba C, Master
Yeah.
Storyteller, says hello.
I already told them we have a friend from Washington.
Great, great. All right, good people. Oh, hey Ali, could you do me a favor? I
Yes,
guess you have to talk to Mike about this. I need pictures of La Baker's costumes in that room. I went there 5 times to take pictures, and 5 times I was so awestruck I forgot. So
Okay.
if you could work with Mike or someone so I can get some pictures, because I want to put that in my discussion about my visit to Marrakesh.
Oh, okay, clear. Okay,
All
clear
right.
then. Clear about.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
so much.
All right, gentlemen, take care. See out.
Bye bye.